Now you're playing with power. Superpower.
Hey, NSA bot.
I see that it's official. The NSA is now keeping a careful eye on us after that domestic terrorist attack joke we made last time.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, everybody. We're just kind of talking shit. It's just a slow night. We're just getting a little content in here and there. So, you know, I doubt even this intro will be used, but if it is, hi. So yeah. So what the fuck were we talking about?
Well, I was saying how Battleborn is a shit pee-pee boyhole experience.
Well, we know that. So, I mean, like Gearbox and 2K are just doing whatever the fuck they're doing right now. Didn't they get some damage or something like that from the whole THQ affair? THQ going up in flames? Weren't they like affiliated with them or something along those lines?
I thought they bought some of their properties, actually. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what happened. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not really surprised that they're seeing a bit of hard times right now, but they'll come back from it. Borderlands 2 made them like $1 billion. They got featured in like a ton of junk. So,
well, the next one's supposed to be their big one, so I just hope they do it right.
Yeah.
Gearbox seems to have this thing where it's like, they released Borderlands 1, they made a fuck ton of money, and then they bought Duke Nukem Forever's rights, made that, it was shit. And then they made Borderlands 2, that made them a ton of money. Now they made Battleborn, and that was shit. So now they just have to make Borderlands 3, and they'll make more money. It's that simple.
Yeah. That being said, back on topic, I remembered what the fuck I was on about. Prey.
You're okay. Yeah, you know, I really like the whole idea of being able to worship more than one god.
Yeah.
The multiplayer patch is coming soon, so hopefully all the, like, you know, the Westboro Baptist faction will be nerfed.
Yep, and you know what? Maybe the Jews will finally get a bit of a buff.
Yeah, they've been through some hard times since the 1942 update.
I feel like that's basically the most wholesome. I feel like that's the most wholesome we've ever been on this show. I feel like that's the nicest thing we've ever said is basically like, yeah, I hope the Jews nothing bad happens to them. They get an easy time.
And even then, we still managed to make a Holocaust joke.
Yeah.
What you guys?
You're making fun of the Holocaust.
Well, you're recording right now.
Yep. Say hi to NSA bot.
Hi, I want to kill myself.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
Everybody else on the show.
James, would you like to tell for NSA bot why you want to kill yourself?
Well, I'm sitting and opening my box. I just ordered a box, man. On a box of pocket pussies, dildos, handcuffs, the usual. And when I open it, I hear a loud bang coming from my backyard. So I'm like, oh, maybe the fucking apocalypse happened. Maybe something happened. I don't fucking know. Either way, I go into my backyard to check it out, and I fucking fell over and land my line. So I look at porn, can't play video games, get anything. So now my life is basically over. So
it's okay. You can sit in on this fucking wonderful show. And
I'm honestly probably gonna go because I need to work on music stuff.
Oh right, you got a bunch of fucking band shit. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. Get out.
See you guys.
Bands are gay.
Yeah, being a musician is gay. Get out. Creativity in our audience? Fuck no. We only look at memes here.
That's
Aren't
100%
memes creative themselves.
Only if you make them. If you're just shit posting them, then
See,
no.
I'm a meme. I don't want to say farmer because farming implies that you know I put care and time and effort into my crops. When I'm more like a assembly line where I just mass produce shit at an alarming rate, usually in Sony Vegas.
We've had some better shit. We've had some. I mean, that Killer Carolyn meme.
Fucking grade A memes.
May or may not be getting used in something coming up. So,
what do you mean may not? It is. Like, there's no way about it. It will be in anything. I will shove it everywhere.
Yep.
Just when you think you're free of its grasp, you turn the corner. You're walking home late at night, you know, a little bit of rain falls on your shoulder, and you just hear it behind you. You look
It's
and that's what you see before. That's the last thing you see before you die.
It's because that's a dank meme. That's a certified grade A meme, and we knew it the second we made it. We knew.
That's how you know it's a good meme. When you combine Depressing Nihilism, the TV show, and JoJo, that's how you get good shit.
That being said, boy oh boy, I wish we got more mileage out of that that fucking Dio Killer Carolyn Zawaldo.
Oh, the fucking
that I made. Oh, that's
Oh,
a
shit.
Nice.
that was my fucking background for the longest time.
That is a solid fucking image.
It's
Effort
it
got put into
fits
that.
too well, and that's what bugs me.
Put that up on the screen. Put that up in the fucking editing process when this gets in post.
God, these fucking shit posters.
Right?
Yeah, I shaved my fucking armpit.
Yeah, okay. Why not?
Too lazy going to the bathroom. I was like, fuck it.
Are you saying you shaved your armpits in your room?
Yeah.
That's alright. Free
I mean, I
carpet.
just have to vacuum now.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to that time that we, the coalition of creepy internet buddies, shout out to that fucking time that James sent us a photo of a random chick that he was like kind of flirting with, and we just like tracked her down via reverse image search. We're just like, who is this bitch? Shout out.
Wasn't that with fucking Seth?
Yeah. No, I don't think it was with Seth. I think it was with...
I know we did something like that with Seth, where we tracked someone down in his basement.
That's true, but that was forever ago. I remember that. Man, we've been
Honestly.
creepy internet buddies for a while.
That whole saga of my life is something I tend to try and ignore.
It's probably
Same.
the best.
Oh, it is for the best. I hands down believe it is. But speaking of good old Nihilism, the television show, September 8th hype. It's when it's coming out. Season 4.
Of?
BoJacky man.
Oh, BoJack Man. Fuck yeah.
The horsey man is coming back.
There was something else coming out then too.
Possibly with a daughter. I remember from
Oh
the...
yeah, there was a daughter. Or
Is that a
something.
new
we don't know.
Tron video?
Yeah, it came out.
Oh shit.
It's alright.
It had some pretty good memes in there.
I'll watch it after I watch this vape video.
Although he's been saying in like, you know, more recent videos that he's kind of done with John Tron, and I can feel it in the writing.
Do you remember when? I don't fucking know.
Why would he be
Shit.
done though?
Because he just wants to move on to different, bigger, better projects. He was just
Bigger,
saying
better
that-
product. What he did with the Star Wars one, where it was just him and a bunch of people from Sleepycast just fucking around with it.
Basically, I would actually say that's the best case scenario is that he just continues making stuff like that, and I'm completely cool with that. If he wants to make that shit all day, every day, better on him.
Look, man, I have no problem with people who make careers, but if you're just making what the people want and you're not happy, then that's no good. But if you want to fucking shitpost, good on you.
Yeah, as fellow shit posters on the internet, we approve. So, not that anybody
I
gives a fuck about our opinions, but you know,
I
not
don't
like John
do
Tron
the
needs
things.
our validation.
I love you, John. If
We love you,
by
John.
by some meaning of God you stumble across this, no, I love you.
Yeah.
I'd eat your ass. I'd full on do it.
Yeah. That's a good dude. What the fuck were we just talking about before?
We were talking about Prey, and then
No. We were talking about film stuff. I mean, like, I'm fucking down to talk video games all goddamn day, you know this, but, you know.
we don't have
No.
a list.
Alright, let's talk about
All this shit's gonna get cut
dude,
anyways.
that
so.
Half-Life 2 Episode 3.
Oh boy. That's a
Did you
fucking
manage to
topic.
read it?
I have not fully read it. I read a good deal of it. I have not read all of it.
I still think Josh is kind of an idiot for saying
It
Well,
has
it's
some good
brilliant
ideas
when it
in it, but
really
it's
isn't.
overall mediocre.
Sam, get the fuck out of your kitchen. Get the fuck out of your kitchen, Sam.
He's gotta cook him a good meal.
You gotta cook him a hot bowl of Yiff ramen. Can that be this episode's name? Hot bowl of Yiff
Hot
ramen.
bowl of Yiff ramen? Yes, it can.
Welcome
Editors
to
know. Hot bowl of Yiff ramen.
episode 4, Hot bowl of Yiff ramen. That can be my intro card.
Man.
This is the worst show. Okay. Seriously, what the fuck were we just talking about?
Half-Life Episode 3.
God damn, yep, you're right.
Yeah,
Uh,
it better be.
Right.
Got him.
Yeah, I don't know, man. What I'm most curious about is that we still haven't gotten a response as to whether or not this was kind of like a fuck you to Valve, because we know he was leaving.
I think it was more that he knew Valve
That it
wasn't
was-
actually going to come out with anything, and it was like, all right, guys, here's the story, so you guys can actually have some closure because I care enough to let this
Right.
out.
That would make sense. That's terrible.
I think that's basically how it is. Is it's less of a fuck you to Valve and more of a he knows they're not going to talk about it anytime soon because we haven't gotten word on it for fucking eons. So he's like, here's something that you know that this was a thing that was happening. Whether or not it's still happening, who the fuck knows? But
If it comes
existed.
back, what a fucking and we hope it's been worth it meme we're gonna fucking get, because
worth the wait.
we hope it's
Literally,
been worth the wait.
All I want Valve to do is be like, all right, so yeah, that was the actual story we came up. That was the best one. We're just going to make a game. We know it's not going to be the best, but we just want you guys to be able to play it. Like, I'd be fine with that if Valve did that. Even if it's not the best, I'd be like, all right, sure, fine, it's good, you know? It's
What if
not
it's
the best,
not?
but it's like, all right, fine. At least you're giving it closure, you know?
What if there's
Unless
some
they
kind
wanna
of hidden
fix it.
conspiracy that like Telltale Games is like hidden the plot of Half-Life 3 in one of their Minecraft story modes?
Did I play Minecraft every day?
Every day.
Nice.
No. I don't know, what else interesting shit have we been playing lately?
Dude, the forest? God, that bridge coming along nice.
Right? The Forest, I feel like, is just our fucking, like, that is a pure shitpost game for us. I think every time we've ever pulled content out for the Forest, it was like a shitpost.
Remember when I
Well,
first played
My
and the fucking
two
aliens
best
were
videos
attacking
in
me?
my eyes were the Forest ones.
I agree. I
Like,
agree.
I
I
loved
think,
that first Forest video so much. I poured my heart and soul into that thing.
right?
Stayed
We
up
had a
for
couple
fun.
little editing tricks in there, a couple little dumb things. It was a good old time. Yep.
You see, you learn from experience.
And
You
now
make a
watch
bunch of
as we
shit.
watch as we look back in like 2 years' time at this recording and we're like, Jesus Christ, we didn't know shit.
Dude, I want to play through fucking Snake Eater again. By again, I mean actually play through it.
Snake Eater! Yeah.
It just reminds me of that fucking Shadow LaBeouf meme where that guy just came up and sung the fucking song.
Oh yeah. At the
Great.
He Will Not Divide Us mural or whatever, and he was just
Yeah.
singing Snake Eater.
Oh, somebody's calling Destiny 2 Destiny 1.5. It's like, yeah, I mean, it looks exactly like a Destiny 1.5. No joke, it looks like how Borderlands 2 did. Like, you know, there's Borderlands 2, and then the pre-sequel came out, and everybody was like, it looks the exact same. It's what Destiny 2 looks like compared to the first. And, like, the feeling of it looks like the same.
How functional is my thing for picking up internal audio in my system? Because, you know, I got some fresh memes that I can throw on this bitch.
Dude, I
It's always
know
about
this
the
kid
names.
named Jeff.
Me too, buddy.
Fuck. I'm dying.
Me
What?
too. Do you think that God stays up in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created? Or do you think that fucking that line didn't belong in a Spy Kids movie?
It probably didn't. We were gonna watch that. Maybe that'll be our next
I
film
want
piece
to.
that we talk about.
As a kid, I loved that movie.
Maybe next week we'll do that one.
The reason I loved it was specifically because of the spooky skeletons. There was like the stop motion skeletons.
Yeah, no,
I
you're right.
remember.
You're right. What can I say? You're right. I don't know, man.
Dude, I love
Dude,
furry
I
comics.
fucking shit like what is it? Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Just that entire generation of
Oh,
like
man.
weird early 2000 children with a question mark films. I don't know who they were for.
One thing I always realized is it's like people will talk about all these really shit movies, and 90% of the ones that they talk about are ones that I first saw when I was sick. Like, I'm pretty sure when I first saw Shark Boy and Lava Girl, I was homesick from school or something, and my mom had to go do something. She's like, I'll leave a movie on for you, sweetie pie. How about, and I was like, what about the Shark Boy and Lava Girl? I'd never seen that, and I wanted to because it looks like Spy Kids. And then she put it on, and I just remember seeing George Lopez, and I was so confused. Because, like, I always knew the George Lopez show. So, like, I knew him as an actor, but then just seeing him in this weird asshole fucking orb thing, I was completely confused. And the other one, which was my high praise example of how bad movies can be when you're sick,
Yeah.
is this was in middle school, and it was the end of the day. I didn't get home early or anything, but I was like fucking feeling like death. Like I was puking, head was like blistering, and like I had a fever. So I decided to lay down in the spare bedroom, and I just flicked the TV on to whatever it happened to be. It was Nickelodeon, and it was whatever show was going on there. I fell asleep, and when I woke up, it was the Fred movie. And I just remember just looking over, just praying for death because of how terrible I felt. And that was going, and I was too sick to change the channel because I couldn't find the remote. And so I just laid there watching this monstrosity. And I was just dying. I was not having fun.
It's a great sick day, my dude.
Dude, I
Yeah.
remember.
That just
like,
makes me think of the whole George Lopez thing in Spy Kids. What's the name of that show that he was on? Like, that was running around like the same time as King of the Hill.
The George Lopez show?
Is it just the George Lopez show? Fuck,
I
don't know,
think
dude.
it is. I think it's just George Lopez. Sam, you've watched it, right?
What?
The George Lopez show.
No,
Like where he's got the family and everything. It was on like Nick at Night.
I know what it is. I haven't watched it.
I thought you have watched
All I know is it has fucking Lowrider, and that's it. And they
That's
just
all
jump
I know
around
as well.
trampoline.
Yeah,
that's all I
That's
ever.
it. That's
No.
the whole show.
See,
As far as I forgot.
I watched the show because, of course, I've always been a night owl, and Nick at Night was just on, and that's all they'd play for like a solid year. Every night for 3 hours straight was just fucking George Lopez.
That was the
And
same
so that's all I've seen. I'm pretty sure I've seen every episode by now.
I've never seen the show. It's just that I see the intro because that was as long as it took me to change channel. I'd just be like looking at it, and I fucking would be listening to Lowrider, and I'm like, fuck yeah, Lowrider. And then they finally get around to the show, and I'm like, and leave, you know, and go do whatever the fuck else. But yeah, same dude, just total night owl fucking growing up, and I was just like, oh, fucking Nick at Night. And then I would wake up at like 4 a.m. in the morning, and fucking the only thing on would be King of the Hill. So I've seen every King of the Hill episode.
Fucking yeah. Well, even Adult Swim did that after a while. I remember when they used to play Futurama when Adult Swim first came on, and that's how I watched the majority of that. But then there was this weird span of time where as soon as it shifted, it played Pee-wee's Playhouse.
What?
And yeah, just straight up Pee-wee's Play. Adult Swim would come on, and this was like during the summer, like I want to say between like maybe 5th and 6th grade, maybe even earlier, but they just played Pee-wee's Playhouse. And when I first saw it, because the only thing I knew about Pee-wee Herman was the movie and the fucking whole masturbation thing, like when he got caught in the movie theater. And so I just see this like
And
the
this
super
is
happy
crap.
intro. No, I didn't discover that until later. I only heard about that when I first watched Nostalgia Critic. But anyway, and the show's intro came on, and it's all this super bright and happy shit going on. It's like Pee-wee's Playhouse, and I was in the back of my mind, I was used to Moral Oral, and I was like, okay, so it looks all happy and upbeat, and it's just gonna have some sort of dark undertone or whatever. And then it just fucking it just went on. And it was just legitimately Pee-wee Playhouse, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? What is going on?
This is genuinely kind of wholesome, but really fucking weird. Like, what's
I know.
happening?
I gotta give fucking that guy some credit. He managed to make a good feeling TV show. Yeah, it's just so bizarre,
Yeah.
and I was always so confused watching it.
I think children's programming thrives on shit like that. I think if you're really creative and really weird, you're gonna get some respect at some point. Because look at stuff like Ren and Stimpy, where it's such a weird, grotesque art style, or Ed, Edd n Eddy, where the art style kind of looks like trash, but in an artsy way, you know?
See, I always liked Ed, Edd n Eddy more. Ren and Stimpy was, again, the only times I ever watched it was in the ungodly hours of the morning on Nicktoons, their second channel, where they played all their older shit, and I just always remember fucking just I'd be on my living room couch, because that's usually where I slept, and fucking that'd just be on, and I'd just be really confused.
Yep.
But the problem with the whole TV show's got to be weird, there has to be a line, because if you make it too absurd, it's just stupid.
Yeah.
But if you make it interestingly weird, then you got a point there. I don't know, it's a modern show.
It just kind of goes really fucking weird.
Yeah.
You know what's weird, and I'm kind of okay with. I was just about to say this. I was just about to be like, hey, cartoon designers, or you could go the other direction towards Avatar and just write really solid stories. Just churn out really good characters and stories and situations. And I feel like they're actually trying to follow that more, for better or for worse.
See, I think those type of shows aren't really suited for TV. They're good for streaming sites and for the internet. And I think, because isn't the new Voltron show on Netflix? I mean, I've never seen it.
I believe so.
See, my whole problem with shows that are on TV is the characters never really get developed, or they develop, but then they at the end of the show will just revert and completely forget what they just learned. And I'm like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
See, that's the whole problem with just TV in general, is because it's and you take a show like Avatar, and it's a coherent story that you kind of watch from the beginning into the end, and
they were lucky. They designed it that way. They said, we want a cohesive beginning, middle, and end, and they knew exactly where that end was. There's 3 or 4 filler episodes in that entire series. So,
I think there's a good way you can do it like that, where people are still able to grow as characters, but it's you still have to be able to stretch things out for TV, but it's you can work it properly and not have to just make it where they never learn, and just so you can fucking keep making more episodes of garbage.
But at the same time, you have to worry about people hopping in. So say you have a show like Avatar, and it's it's playing reruns or whatever, but it's playing them out of order, let's say. So let's have it, it's the Eclipse episode when they invade the Fire Nation. Someone who's never seen Avatar before in their entire life just flips the channel and they see that, they're like, what the fuck is this? What's going on? Whereas you get a show I don't know, fucking Adventure Time maybe, where they're self-contained, and I get that whole thing, where I'm not saying Adventure Time is better than Avatar, because if anything, I don't like Adventure Time, but because it's self-contained, it's a lot easier for television studios to just pump out and constantly have reruns and get people watching it, because they won't be confused with any of the character arcs, motivations, etc., etc.
Yeah.
They won't have to be caught up on the story to understand it. But when you have shit like Netflix, where BoJack, they dump the whole season when it's premiered, so you can binge watch that shit. It's meant for binging and watching it from start to finish. and those type of shows are really suited for that. Like I think even Young Justice is supposedly going to be on Netflix, which again, never seen it. People say it's good, so I'll give them credit.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just kind of weird that like I feel like I said, Avatar just got really lucky and it ended up being on for whatever reason, Nickelodeon was like, yeah, okay, we'll grant you exactly the number of episodes that you wanted and we'll let you, like finish the story, because usually they're just like whipping the writers, just like, no, keep going, make us more money, especially for something as successful as Avatar. But in this,
Korra was like that.
Korra is like that, where they're just like, okay, well, keep the story going, and they're like, well, kind of already maxed out our characters, like it's always the issue of like one-upping a villain.
Yeah, well, that's just the problem with making. So Avatar ended on a perfect note. It was fine the way it is, and it's always going to be hard to make a sequel something that was really wrapped up without causing some sort of plot hole, inconsistency, etc., etc. That's why BioShock 2 is a shitty sequel.
Yeah,
is because it was wrapped up, it was finished at the end of the first game, and they tried to continue it, and it didn't make any sense.
But that being said, you know what would be a really fucking good series, I feel like?
What?
Craft.
We got,
right.
I just saw a thread on this the other day. If we got a fucking prequel with Uncle Iroh. And his days as a young man, and then as Dragon of the West, and then
Oh, you just reminded me. A fucking
advisor to Fire Lord Ozai, and then advisor to Zuko. Like, come on.
I don't think they should do a
hell
full
of life.
series about that, but I think they should do like a good season-long miniseries.
Or just like a special, even, I guess.
Yeah,
if you wanted to.
just kind of abridge it, but still show enough. See,
I
just
how-
reminded
actually
me.
see his son get killed or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, goddamn, already.
I've
been
become
thinking of
a,
that episode, and I'm like, fucking hell.
right.
Making me sob up.
Every time that episode gets mentioned somewhere, like at least 12 more people cry.
Damn right, it should fucking sticks with you.
It's mentioned, and it's like, well, just gotta go have a little lie down and cry for a bit.
You just hear leaves from the vine.
See, you guys brought up the whole BioShock thing. It just reminded me. All right, you know how there's like that new Dishonored 2 DLC coming out?
Yeah.
It's like $30, but it's like I'm hoping it's good.
I'm sure it will be.
Yeah, it's really upsetting to me. It's really upsetting. Still haven't gotten to touch Dishonored 2. Dishonored is one of my favorite games of all time because it's basically a spiritual successor to Thief. At least it allows you to be. A lot of people have an issue with comparing Thief to Dishonored because they're like, well, Thief you had to be stealthy, and in Dishonored you can just be a fucking whirlwind of death if you want to.
See, I'd say that's a good thing for Dishonored then, because it gives you more options.
Exactly.
How to play.
Exactly. That's what I think too. I think people are ridiculous for being like, well, it's not as narrow-minded as the original, so therefore it's not as good. Like, what? No. Now, granted,
how does that make it worse? If something's an improvement, how does that make it worse?
I think it's more of people get the idea in their head that it's like the stealth is so good, and it's like if you want to do a stealth game, you have to do it like this. And then there's Dishonored, which it's like, oh, it's not as in-depth stealth, but it's still like pretty damn good stealth.
See, I think that's kind of the mindset they have, where it's like, instead of just focusing on making the stealth super good, they just made it really good and then maybe really good action.
But it's like they spread out the...
But the thing is that Dishonored is one of the very few games that I can think of that I'm massive on. Like, if I fuck up, just keep going. I'm not gonna, quick save and reload every 5 seconds. I'm just gonna play through a mission fluidly, and wherever it gets me, I'm satisfied with it. Because I know that, like, the game hands you the tools to be competent in any situation.
See, I didn't do that because I was doing no kill on my first run. And fucking,
well,
I had to do that.
You remember what happened to me. I tried to, and then I fucking knocked a guy out, and, like, I was like, okay, I need to hide the body, and the body slid into a river while I wasn't looking to be drowned. And so at the end of it, it was like, yeah, you killed one guard, and I'm like, what the fuck, where? And then I'm, like, thinking back, and I was like, did I throw that guy in, like a puddle of water, and he fucking drowned in it? And I'm like, yep, he did.
I
So.
think that's kind of interesting though, where you do have to keep in mind of your body placements.
Oh, I absolutely
Even more
love it
so.
too. I'm completely cool with that, but I mean, it's just I was fucking stupid for doing it. So for all of the rest of them, for Brigmore Witches, for Knife of Dunwall, I have cleaner hands and cleanest hands for both of them because I fucking love it, but I still don't have it for Dishonored.
Yeah,
How
I have it
strange.
for both of them. I just need to do a kill run in Dishonored too.
That being
God, I got
said,
gypped in
yeah.
Dishonored too. They took my fucking like. Apparently, I had one guy who died, even though I
See,
didn't.
so did I. But I was like, I was on the last level, and I was just checking my stats, and it said that I killed someone, and I had to go back like 2 levels ago in order to fucking figure it out. And
I
think
wasn't
it
able
was
to go back
because-
far enough.
I think it was a similar thing where it's like I threw him in like on glass or something, and he like cut himself and bled to death. Maybe I don't know.
right.
But I
He
did it.
inhaled
I was
some
like,
particulates while he was face down on the ground, and he fucking
he
got,
suffocated because he was face down in his bed.
he got lung cancer and died. That's how that
Swallowed
works,
glass
right?
and cut up his esophagus. Yeah, that's exactly
That's what happens, right? You inhale glass and you get lung cancer. I assume these things. I don't know. I'm not a
Look,
trained
I'm a-
medical professional.
I'm the doctor here. I think I know a thing or two.
You're right. What's your diagnosis, doc?
It's lung cancer.
Hey, you're
From
pretty
inhaling
good.
glass
Hey. Yeah.
Hey.
Hey. God damn it. This show, man. I just look over my other monitor and I see I still have a fucking one of the research tabs open for George Lopez.
Why? Why?
It's still there.
Dude, I need to rewatch Avatar.
Everybody needs to rewatch Avatar. Every time somebody comes out with a new show and they're like, hey, this is finally like a kid's show with adult, mature themes and like really well done and is art rather than, like traditional animation, they need to just go back and look at Avatar and be like, is it close to Avatar? Why in? Better or worse?
Avatar was just so good.
Really good. Enough jerking off of Avatar.
Yeah, I mean,
I haven't seen it in a long time. And when I finished watching it, it was like just around the time they started invading the Fire Nation or whatever, or went there. That's it. That's as far as I ever got.
Yeah.
And
Well,
even
like, during
then,
the
I have a lot of
eclipse, or-
missing in between. No, like at the beginning, like the complete fucking beginning
Okay.
of it.
Gotcha. So, speaking of eclipses, that was a solar. It was a solar eclipse last Monday, and the moon
was
definitely
pretty
did
cool.
go in front of the sun.
It was
Yeah.
pretty cool. I just
Yeah.
find it funny how I saw some people were like, I didn't know what I expected from this. And I was just like, well, it was pretty cool, but at the same time, it's like you have to be in the totality area to make it like really cool. Otherwise, it'll
To
be
make it super stunning.
interesting, but it's not going to be as cool. Because a lot of people I know are just disappointed, and it's like, well, I mean, of course you're going to be disappointed over here. I mean, I wasn't. I got those glasses, 93% coverage over here. That was pretty good. That was pretty cool. Even the lighting out there, it got surprisingly dark.
See, it's like, I know, like, people, they were, like, a few people I know, they were like, man, the eclipse was a real bummer, it wasn't what I was expecting. I was like, what were you expecting? It's a fucking eclipse. It gets slightly dark out, and you can look at it. But,
Yeah. I mean, it was a thing, whatever. I don't go outside anyways. I mean,
It's one of those things that it's more of a novelty, that it's like, yeah, that's cool, I got to see this thing, but that's about it. I mean,
And you know what really cheapened it for me? I didn't realize this. So the thing is that a solar eclipse only happens once every whatever it is, 100 years, whatever the fuck.
no, it's less than that. It's like 30 something.
Yeah. Either way, supposedly this is like the last one we'll see in our lifetime or whatever.
Apparently, I heard there was going to be one in 2024.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
2038 or something.
That's the thing. Is the everybody was getting really hyped about it because they're it's like the last one we'll see in our lifetime or whatever, in the northern hemisphere. In our hemisphere, we only get one whatever. But the thing is that a bunch of other places they happen what was it, 2024, something like that. So not even that far away.
Yeah.
it's just for our particular region, so that kind of cheapened it for me. I was like, oh well, I mean, I travel a lot, so
What
I
cheapened it
could
for
have
me
traveled
is,
to see it, but I didn't.
people coming to my store all day, every day, the day before, like, hey, do you have the Eclipse class? I'm like, no, we don't. They're like, do you know where we can get it? I'm like, no, I don't. It was that exact. It was as if people were reading off of a script.
y'all fuckers need to prep a little earlier than
I
that.
would
I
have
had
just
to-
said, try Starbucks.
I literally just said, look it up. And they're like, I did.
Amazon.
And I'm like, then I don't know what you're expecting me to tell you if you looked it up.
That's where you
'Cause I
whip it
just
out
do
and be
that
like
too.
$100.
Oh, so brief mentionings on the Elder Scrolls Online. I haven't put a ton of time into it. I've only put like a couple, like just test hours basically. I was just like, how does the character creation work? How do guilds and stuff work in this game? How does combat work, etc., etc. And then like
wow.
and then a quick glancing over the skill tree, and that was really all I've done. As of yet, not sure how I feel about it. I feel like a good chunk of it could be that I am already not a fan of the faction system. There's 3 factions rather than 2, which I'm normally completely okay with. See PlanetSide. I fucking love PlanetSide.
PlanetSide 2, I haven't played that in a long time.
I was a founder for that game. I put a fucking bunch of money at them, and then I put a ton of time into it, but nobody else played it, so I had like a bunch of friends that I talked to in PlanetSide and like nowhere else.
I played that like all the way back in like 2011, I think.
When was the release on it?
I think it was around
2011 or
there.
2012. I think it was around.
God.
I think it was 2012 or something like that.
Weren't we supposed to get an
Jesus
update for Resident Evil
fuck, no.
7?
Nope. 2003. Oh wait, no, 2012. It was originally announced in 2003. Release date 2012. So I was exactly right the first time.
Yeah, fuck, that's been a while.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Not the longest minute, but you know, a video game minute is indeed a very short minute. So
Where you pull out your sick box mod and lose them in the clouds.
yeah, that. And the thing is, so they don't have that many races. Like the Tamriel Elder Scrolls universe is already just doesn't have a ton of races, or at least like particularly unique and interesting races. They have about 4 varieties of human, so it's just like human, darker skinned human, lighter skinned human, and really nowhere in between. So give me just a minute.
I don't know shit about MMOs because I don't normally play MMOs, so I'm like a really despicably bad person to be talking about this sort of thing. But I know that since I didn't like MMOs, I didn't bother getting Elder Scrolls Online, and it has continued to stay that way. Just trying to fill up the dead air.
A lot of that, you know, will probably get cut or whatever. Anyways, I don't fucking know. We'll see. Anyways, but like I said, each faction basically each faction has a human, basically, and then they get, you know, 2 weird races or whatever, which is almost always an elf and then whatever else. So an orc in one case, a Khajiit in the other case, and an Argonian in the other case. So everybody's so like equally balanced that it's hard to feel particularly passionate for one side or the other. Because in WoW, you look at them and they have very clear, distinctive design choices that, like, you know, match your typical fantasy universe. And you're like, okay, I get that the Alliance are, you know, humans, elves, dwarves, your traditional kind of the fairer race. And then you have the Horde, which are, you know, usually like more evil or, you know, tribally or whatever. That's cool. You understand which side is which side, like, right off the bat, and the distinctions between them just via their aesthetic. With Tamriel Online, you're just like, what? I don't know, everybody just looks like a dude. Except for the Khajiit, Argonian, and Orc, who are so divided that it's easy to forget which faction they're even on. So... And there's some weird shit, like the Khajiit are part of the Aldiri Dominion? When did that become a thing?
Oh.
It's pretty weird.
I'm fucking going nuts about this, dude, but I don't know. I'm a big fucking for Elder Scrolls and shit like that. Of course, now that I've said that, somebody's gonna be like, if you look at dialogue piece 8 under, you know, this one fucking character that was in Morrowind, they very clearly state that from this year to this year, the Khajiit were part of the Alderia Dominion or whatever. Whatever.
So when are we gonna get that free DLC for Resident Evil 7?
Oh,
Come
yeah.
out in the spring.
Are we supposed to get another one?
It's about to be the fall, and that
What-
Chris Redfield DLC is still not out.
Oh, the Chris Redfield DLC. Yeah, they're probably putting effort into that one because you almost know it's going to set up the next Resident Evil game.
I liked Resident Evil 7.
I did
fun streaming
too,
it.
But
It's
here's the
just
thing.
not replayable.
Yeah, it was really good, but here's the thing that concerns me about that DLC.
Mhm.
They're putting time into it, so it's probably going to be the you know, big and final piece DLC that's going to set up the next game.
Mhm.
Because you know how the Resident Evil series loves to fucking do that shit.
Mhm.
And here's the concerning factor: it's starring Chris Redfield, which means that they're going back to the regular like fucking bullshit continuity T-virus shit that we had before.
Wasn't it already connected because it was some DS game or whatever?
What?
For 7.
Yeah, it was very loosely, but I thought it was actually partially related to Revelation, but I don't know. I never know anymore. Yeah,
Well,
I thought it was
well,
part
wasn't-
of
Which one was Revelations? There was
Revelations.
one on DLC
Was
with
the
a
one
boat.
on the? Yeah, that was Revelations. Was the ship? It was like
Yeah, I
on the
thought that was
underwater
connected as
vessel.
well somehow.
Which people kind of liked just because of its monster. Apparently, it had a really cool monster.
I mean,
I'm looking at it. It just
beginning
kind
of
of.
Resident Evil 7 was amazing, and then it kind of just dropped off and became an action thing. Which I mean, it was still fun, but
But
I
we want
liked
Resident
Texas
Evil.
Chainsaw Massacre. Like,
Yeah, we wanted Resident Evil. We wanted slow, methodical horror. And fucking.
yeah, but unlike the original, I didn't want it to have shit controls, and it didn't have shit controls. It was fine. It was fun playing.
Spooky
again-
Uncharted.
I'd play an
Someone call
Uncharted
it.
style horror game.
What if we got an Undead Nightmare style DLC for Uncharted?
I'd buy it. Well, I'd have to buy Uncharted first, but I'd do it.
First up, speaking of Undead Nightmare, Red Dead Redemption 2.
I don't
Hype.
think I beat the first one.
Hype.
Is this one coming to PC?
Yes, it is.
Then I'll get it.
Yep. Fucking excited just because it's coming to PC, because finally I will get to play a fucking Red Dead Redemption game for more than like 20 minutes at a time.
See, that's my biggest problem. That's like my biggest holdback for a lot of games where even though I have consoles to play exclusives on, like I can get Bloodborne, but I don't want to because I want to play it with friends, but I don't want to pay for online.
Right,
I already pay internet bills.
right.
I don't want to have to pay another fee just to access something that should be there.
Well, I mean, I think everybody who listens knows that we're pretty fucking staunch PC elitists, you know. But
Look, I have fucking every next gen console. I feel I'm allowed to bitch and moan.
yep. I don't have a Switch yet, so you know.
I don't have a Wii U. That's the only thing, but I have a
Ooh, we're not talking about the Wii U on this here channel.
But it has Bayonetta 2 on it, so it's worth having. I guess.
Oh, well, that makes it okay then.
Hey, they ported the first one to PC. Port the second to the Switch, and I'll buy it.
Yep.
I know they're gonna charge $60 for it, but I'll buy it because they did it with Mario Kart.
I don't know. I feel like there's good odds there that, you know, when From Software inevitably sells out someday, and they're just gonna be like, okay, we're just gonna fucking million releases of the Soul series because we're fucking out of ideas.
I
Then
mean, they
they're
already just made Bloodborne twice, so
yep. So
Vape Nash, you got
they'll
it.
probably do like a re-release PC or something like, you know, 3 years from now. something stupid.
That's the part of me wishes it was published by Capcom, because Capcom has a habit of saying this is an exclusive and then like, here you go, have fun PC.
Yeah, because
Dead
well, I
Rising
think it's
3 was supposed to be, and Dead Rising 1 was supposed to be an Xbox 360 exclusive, but that came to the Wii, and I think the PS.
I think that's just largely. I mean, citation needed on this, but I feel like that's just largely how Japanese game developers kind of operate. Like, they're so quick to fucking, negate exclusives because marketing lasts for like what 5 seconds in Japan.
Yeah.
They're just like, okay, next person up on the fucking ladder to market with. Like, everything's a crossover in Japan. Is all I'm saying. Everything's a cross.
Yeah.
And so as such, like they're really quick to just like do
You're
exclusive
gonna
deals.
cross over these nuts?
Like, we already got
Oh.
a fucking new BlazBlue game with fucking Ruby in it, so I mean,
Yeah,
they're whores for crossovers over there.
yeah, there are.
Which,
And then everything's just a JoJo reference. So
that's
nothing
why
we
I
can
have
do
a
about that
PS4. That's one of the two reasons I have it.
JoJo.
He is 8
No.
different people.
he's the one with 4 balls, and I refuse to be.
He has 4 balls. That's twice the manly.
Dude, I wish I had more than just fucking 3.
And also double
Four?
the gay.
That's true. It is most definitely double the gay. See, I bought my PS4 for 2 games. Both of them are JoJo.
No.
Except one is going under a different title of Persona 5. And, yeah. I find it odd how the PS4... Well, actually, I shouldn't say it's odd because it's, by the Japanese. It's like, that's the only reason people buy the PS4 is for Super Jap Weeb games, and maybe Horizon Zero Dawn or whatever. I
Yeah.
guess a lot of people like that game.
It seems like Far Cry Primal, but not shit. And also,
I saw a trailer for it, and I was like, that looks kind of neat. And then I heard it came out, and then I haven't heard anything since.
Actually, I redact that previous statement. I feel like saying that makes me look ill-informed on that game because I know it's not that. But still, it's just I don't know why. It gives me that vibe. Anyways, I think that's all I'm gonna record for now. This file is probably big enough. I'm fucking ready.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening. If this actually gets used in the podcast as an outro, don't know why. But hey, fuck it, why not? And yeah. That's all.